Alright, so we're here in Ritu Dvipa. We crossed over into Ritu Dvipa, and in Ritu Dvipa the process is Archana. So we're going to hear from Rukmini Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantika Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajiva Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Ladita Shri Vishakhan Vitansha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nama Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshata. Hare Krishna. So Maharaj is extra merciful. So beg the blessings of all the devotees here. So as Maharaj said, this is Ritu Dvipa, and the recommended process is Archana. Prahlad Maharaj in the 7th canto prays, then the Hiranyakashipu asked, what is the best thing you have learned in your school? Then he repeated this verse, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smarnam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandram Sakhyam Dasyam Atmanivedanam. So he recommended Navadvip Bhakti. So Srila Prabhupada in that purport is writing, although each limb of these Navadvip Bhakti is sufficient in itself to give perfection, it is very, very difficult for a conditioned soul to chant in a pure stage. To expedite the process of purification, deity worship is recommended. So deity worship helps Panchratik Vidhi, supports Bhagavat Vidhi. So if we perform deity worship, it helps us in purifying ourselves, being more regulated, elevating in mode of goodness. That will help us to chant better. So that way Prabhupada is recommending in the purport, deity worship is must. Sometimes devotees are under misconception, okay, Harinam Ev Kevalam, so I will just focus on Harinam. That's okay. But to chant Harinam more purely, we can take the assistance of deity worship. We can see, although Lord Chaitanya recommended only holy name, all of his associates, they had personal deities. And when all the devotees used to come from Bengal to Orissa for participating in Rath Yatra, so in Madhya Lila, I think the 15th chapter, when all the devotees are going back, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is glorifying all the devotees for their wonderful qualities. And when it comes to Raghav Pandit, Mahaprabhu glorifies his deity worship. Raghav Pandit, in Panihati, he had a deity, Gopinath. And he was very, very peculiar about cleanliness standards. Now, he had a very big garden of coconut trees. But he used to fetch coconut from a far off place at a costlier price. So Raghav Pandit is showing us that when we are doing deity worship, we should try to offer the best of the best things to the deities. Because deity is not different from Krishna. Although Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpan Fanam Toyam Yo Me Bhaktya Prechati. So Bhakti Siddhanta Swami Thakur Maharaj says, those who are cheaters, they take advantage of this verse. Krishna is just asking Patram Pushpan, so we'll just offer Patram Pushpan. No. We should offer best of the best articles. So Raghav Pandit used to fetch coconut from the far off place at a very higher price. And once he was asking his servants to bring the coconuts inside, and the coconuts were put in a bucket. And when the servant stepped inside the temple, with his hand he touched the roof. And the same hand he touched the coconut. He said, no, now you can't offer it to the deity. So much. It was not that Raghav Pandit has some psychiatric problem. He had some clinic phobia. No. No, this has, because when we walk in the temple, some dust must have risen. Some dust must be on the roof. You have touched the dust, and the same dirty hands, you have touched the articles which have to be offered to the Lord. No, this has become unfit for offering to the Lord. So all the coconuts were thrown out, fresh coconuts were brought in, and they were offered. This was being glorified by Lord Chaitanya, that he was so particular in deity worship. So Srila Prabhupada is saying, especially for the householders, those who are rich, they should use all the best of the best means in worshipping the deities. Sometimes out of laziness, one doesn't worship the deities. So Prabhupada is recommending in all homes we should worship the deities. But the deities which we have at home, they are considered to be the expansion of the deities of the temple. Prabhupada is also saying in the letters that when we are connected with some temple, the temple deity worship should be given preference. And the deities at the home, they are considered as an expansion of the temple. So if someone is saying, okay, I don't have so much of means to do deity worship, then the Agni Puran it is mentioned, if one cannot worship the deity, at least one should watch the deity worship. That's why in Nectar of Devotion also it mentioned, at least once a day one should visit a Vishnu temple and see the arti being offered. So if one is not able to do, at least one should watch the deity worship. And deity worship must also be accompanied by Bhagavat Vidhi, hearing and chanting. Otherwise, we start taking deity for granted. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Jayadhar mentions that there are three kinds of statues. One is called Jad Man. That people make statues, they are just like matter. We see many statues of many politicians, They are just washed once in a month, once in a year. And otherwise, all kinds of dirty things are put on them. So deity worship is not like this kind of statue worship. So this is called Jad Man. Now other kind of statue worship is Manomay. Manomay worship is done by mostly Mayavadis. They say the absolute truth is actually formless. But to have some kind of emotional connection, we need some symbolic representation of absolute truth. Like just to generate a national fervor, national devotion, a flag is there. So as soon as one sees a flag of his nation, some emotions are generated. So we should have some form of statue, seeing which we can have some emotional connection with the absolute truth. Ultimately, absolute truth is formless. So you should concentrate on this deity worship. The Panch Upasana is so powerful that at the last, this deity will crack and will merge into the Brahm, impersonal Brahm. So highly destructive idea. Then the third, the real worship of deity is Chinmay. Chinmay worship means it is all spiritual. Pratima nahi tumhe sakshat Vijendra Nandan. We have so many incidents where the deities have reciprocated with the acharyas. Deities can walk. What is the pastime? Sakshi Gopal. When the young Brahman came to the Vrindavan, he told, you have to go to Vidyanagar, give witness. The Lord said, okay, I'll appear there. You just remember me, I'll appear there. No. I know you're all pervading, you can appear from any place, but you have to be the witness. Same deity has to be the witness. We have to walk. Then the Lord said, have you seen any deity walking? Then Brahman said, have you seen any deity talking? When you can talk, you can walk also. So Lord was speechless. The Lord had to walk. So deity can walk, deity can talk, deity can steal also. Khir or Gopinath. Deity can perform Shraddh also. We have Govind Ghosh. For him, the deities perform Shraddh. So these deities are real Lord. Just to give us an opportunity to establish relationship, Lord appears in the material form with whom we can relate. This is the mercy of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada says, the Arch Vigraha is the most merciful incarnation of the Lord. In one of the purport, Prabhupada says, Lord comes from his home to our homes to take us back to his home. He comes from home to our home to get us back to our home. So we should never consider these deities as dolls. Once I was hearing the lecture of His Holiness Radharani Swami Maharaj. He was narrating his earlier days in New Vrindavan, West Virginia. And he was a pujari. He used to worship Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra. So once his father came to meet him, and he was describing coming to New West Virginia from Chicago. It was a big journey, very tough, with lot of difficulties he reached there. And it was very cold. And Maharaj took him to the temple. And when he had the darshan of Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, his father started crying. And Maharaj said, I am Pujari. I am worshipping the deities for so many years. And my father has come on the first darshan itself. He is crying. Oh, such a mercy of Lord Jagannath. He said, okay, let me ask. No? He said, Father, why are you crying? He says, for these dolls you have wasted your life. So he said, it's very difficult to understand. They are not dolls. It's Lord Krishna himself. Okay. Srila Prabhupada also, when the first deity he installed in ISKCON in San Francisco, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra. And when he installed the deity, it was a very simple process. It is mentioned in Prabhupada Lilamrit. He gave all the hippies a candle and just keep on rotating the candle. For how long? Just keep on rotating. And Lord Krishna, Prabhupada said, he is a person. They didn't know anything. Okay, he is a person. Next time when Prabhupada came, he saw in the altar, Jagannath is missing. Hey, where is the Lord? Prabhupada, you said he is a person. Devotees have gone to Golden Gate Beach. They have taken Jagannath also there. Prabhupada said he is a person, but supreme person. Don't take him so lightly. So, we should take the deities worship very seriously. Sometimes, familiarity beats contempt. But if we are regularly hearing and chanting, realizing the importance of deity worship, so it has lot of potency. It keeps us steady. Prabhupada especially mentioning deity worship for the householders, for Vanprasthas, for everyone. And if we don't have the means, we can do Manas Puja also. Then Prabhupada is giving that famous story of Pratishtanpur Brahman. He was very poor, but he was worshipping the deity with all the opulence. And once he was offering sweet rice in a golden pot. And just to check whether the sweet rice is hot enough or not, he put his finger and finger got burnt. And Lord in the Vaikuntha started smiling. Lakshmiji said, why are you smiling? He said, this Brahmana. Immediately he sent his associates to bring the Brahman back to Vaikuntha. Of deity worship, and we are so fortunate, Srila Prabhupada in ISKCON has set very, very high standards for deity worship. And by his mercy, still this high standard of worship, deity worship is continuing. Anyone you come to a ISKCON temple, they say we are attracted by our deities. Deity worship standard is so first class. So our best preachers are deities. And Prabhupada also says, deities are the heart of the temple. If the deities are satisfied, everything will run very smoothly. And we have seen in the temples where the in charge is not so careful about deity worship, there are a lot of conflicts between the devotees. And where full attention is put to the deity worship, everything runs smoothly because it is the heart of the temple. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Rukmini Krishna Maharaj. Actually, he was saying how Prabhupada wanted best things offered to Krishna. When you worship the deity, very important. What you offer should be good. I was in Calcutta 1975 or 76.